It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
More than a rapper, I give you my whole existence. If you look into my work, you find a story of persistence. Climb from the underground, my hands covered in blisters. Played the side like a mistress, bitch, we made it out the trenches. Woo! Private number like a troll nigga. Nintendo Switch and I control niggas. Had to get it out of cold winters. Still try and give it for some gold niggas. Paralyzed, I got no feelings. All these tricks addicts letting the cold hit me. Harry check at least 4 figures. Underrated like Lou Williams. Lord save me, I'm going crazy, going stupid on them. I don't spit a hawk loogies on them. I don't take pics or drop movies on them. I'm a motion picture, wrote the scripture. Did the cancer and the composition. When it come to rap, it's no competition. Better double back and get about your business. Yeah, that's my new vision. Gotta get my bag, gotta get my dough. Yeah, that's my new vision. Gotta keep my masses in my control. Yeah, that's my new vision. Gotta turn my thoughts to the side, let go. Yeah, that's my new vision. What y'all gonna do with it? Yeah, that's my new vision. Gotta get my bag, gotta get my dough. Yeah, that's my new vision. Gotta keep my masses in my control. Yeah, that's my new vision. Gotta turn my thoughts to the side, let go. Yeah, that's my new vision. What y'all gonna do with it? Yeah.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Now, y'all know yesterday we talked about the updates in Drake's lawsuit, trying to bring Lucian Grainge to the table, wanting to get the specifics and details about Kendrick Lamar's contract, wanting to see all of the commentary, the communication, all of the back and forth between the Grammys regarding Kendrick Lamar winning his nomination, retaining the footage, the original footage of the Grammys when Kendrick won and they played Not Like Us. The Super Bowl performance, he wants all communications regarding that, his selection, him performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, any communications around him censoring words for the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? All of those different things. He wanted to get all those specifics regarding communications between UMG, Interscope, and Kendrick to try to see who was involved and basically try to build a case that this was a, they conspired against Drake, and it trickled down not just off of Kendrick voicing his own opinion and his own, bars in a battle, but Drake wants to try to prove that this was a completely colluded idea that was created in the building that Kendrick acted on behalf of the label, right? We went through those things yesterday. However, I wasn't working with a lot of time. Therefore, we only got through about half of Drake's exhibits, half of his document requests. And sadly, the second half of the document requests might be worse than the first half. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So that was just the tip of the iceberg. But what was actually below the motherfucking frozen tundra is a whole lot more. Word on the street is Screwface makes an appearance in the paperwork, wanting to know the details between the label and any communications with him. I'm hearing that they saying that they're trying to look into Kendrick Lamar's paternity. I'm seeing all type of stuff online, and it's making me actually double back because I'm like, okay, I thought I pretty much covered the high and low, but no, this nigga went low. That nigga said, "How low can we go? No, how low can we go?" Boy, you better submit your motherfucking retirement papers, sir. Now, unfortunately, because we are so deep into the Drake saga, the Aubrey Labry certified paperboy saga, that he's still going to continue to have fans. He's going to continue to have people that are not going to hold him accountable to this. If this was any other artist in hip hop, they would easily try to discard him. There would be people literally on the streets burning his CDs and memorabilia. If this was Kendrick Lamar, it would be niggas that claim that they never listened to him burning memorabilia that they had hidden in their room. But since this is Drake, a lot of people are still coming out caping for him, acting like this is some type of raw move. Which a lot of people say this is why y'all should have never let this man in, because by proxy you allowed his fans to be a part of hip hop discussion. I can't say I disagree. Let's go ahead and get to the parts that I missed though. Now, some of this I'm still going to skip just to try to keep this as concise as possible. This is Drake's, I believe, second exhibit in his filing. This is about his set of requests for production and discovery matters, protective order, meaning that the contracts and things that are produced in discovery will be under a protective order, meaning that it will not be visible to the public so that we can't see the intimate details of anybody's contracts and stuff like that. This gets into the status of UMG Discovery. They get into the custodians. Of course, the custodians are going to be like the higher ups of the labels from UMG, Republic, and Interscope. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on minute things because I still don't have a lot of time. I got other stuff to get to. But just want to give, a little bit of context as to like what is in here. Your apex custodians are going to be the top of the food chain, the big wigs, the people who have been coming up, the Lucians, the Avery Lippmans, the Monty Lippmans, all of them. And he's explaining, why their emails basically need to be checked with relevant search terms to see communications regarding Kendrick, Not Like Us, or any of those other plans, Super Bowl, Grammys, etc. Okay? So again, I'm going to just go through some of this stuff, but then we're going to get to those documents of request. All right? So here it says, as we previously explained on May 2nd, 2025, telephonic meet and confer, and again by letter correspondence on May 7th, each of the contested custodians is likely to have discovery relevant. Once again, that's back to the emails. As alleged in the amended complaint, Lucian Grange and John Janik were involved in the initial publication of the recording and image, while Avery and Monty Lippman, as the president, COO, and CEO of Drake's label Republic Records, failed to prevent their publication. I find this to be very interesting, right? So, not only is he accusing Lucian Grange, who's the big dog at UMG over all of these guys. John Janik, of course, is the big dog over there at Interscope, where Kendrick is doing business. But he's also implicating that Avery and Monty Lippman, which are the COO and CEO of his own label at Republic, he's holding them responsible for not doing their part to prevent the publication of Not Like Us. So I don't know what power he thinks that they're gonna have over at Republic over what's happening at Interscope or UMG as a whole, but I'm guessing he wanted Avery and Monty to probably go the legal route first, to where he wouldn't have even had to do this on his own, go hire his own legal team. It sounds to me like he wanted them to go do his dirty work and try to put pressure on Lucian Grange and John Janik. And for whatever reason, they said, hey, you've been out here conducting, this is my assumption, you've been out here battling this guy. You threw shots. He threw shots back. Hey man, this ain't Pusha T. This is another big dog in the industry. We can't put pressure on that man. So he says, nah, fuck y'all too. The amended complaint alleges that each of Lucian Grange, John Janik, and Avery and Monty Lippman were involved in the initial publication of the video. So he's saying that his own CEO and COO were involved, as in they must have known about it and didn't do anything to prevent it from happening. He believes that his own folks at Republic were in on the Not Like Us which of course has dug a grave that Drake has done nothing but dig deeper. They were involved in the initial publication of the video, either in directing or approving the publication, and or in failing to prevent its publication. As high-ranking executives at UMG and Interscope, it is our understanding that Annie Lee, Lucian Grainge, John Janik, and Steve Berman were involved in the ongoing decision to approve the publication and promotion of the defamatory material after learning that the public believed the defamatory material to be communicating statements of fact, and after learning, man, this shit is so frustrating, bro, because this nigga did nothing. This is literally throwing rocks and hiding your hand in legal format. This nigga brought up this man's wife, children, claimed DV allegations on him. He has a whole verse basically calling The Weeknd gay in every way that he possibly can. Like, you want to talk about defamation? You you set up your own defamation case. Like, and this is the thing about it, is what used to be safe in a rap battle is no longer safe with a bitch ass nigga like this who says, you know what, I lost, I can't take this L. So now I need to tailor make this paperwork to show how badly I've been affected. And then his fans come out and say, he was calling a PDF. Where was the kid? Man, shut y'all bitch asses up too, man. Lame ass niggas. Anyway, they were involved. So now he's saying everybody in higher up positions between these three labels were in on it. But they didn't know what the fuck Kendrick was going to drop, because he dropped the shit before the label approved it. The shit was just going straight to YouTube. It was going straight to motherfucking Instagram. Weak ass nigga. The amended complaint further alleges that John Janik is particularly relevant to UMG's decision to publish and promote the defamatory material because he was financially incentivized. And of course, he's requesting John Janik's contract, any incentives or bonuses or performance benchmarks that he had in paperwork, which would have basically given him the incentive to basically unleash Kendrick to destroy him. And remember, he claims that Interscope did like a temporary deal with Kendrick to show him that they could push him to the top. And basically, the song, according to Drake, he believes that those diss records from last year was Interscope showing Kendrick, like, just look at how well we can make those records perform. If we could make those go, just think about what we could do with your other music. Just sign back with us. Nothing that he actually knows, not information that he's privileged to actually be privy to, just his assumption because he couldn't fathom losing. As senior executives at UMG, Interscope, and Republic, it is highly likely that Annie Lee, Lucian Grainge, John Janik, Steve Berman, Avery Lippman, and Monty Lippman were involved in contract negotiations with Kendrick and Drake, and in conversations about increasing leverage for future contract negotiations with Drake. I was just talking about that. So he feels like the conversations that were being had between the labels and Drake and the labels and Kendrick Lamar are two very different conversations. He feels like the conversation to Kendrick was to increase his value, whereas the conversation that Drake was having was one where they say, you on the decline, brother. We can't give you everything that you asking for. Your market share is decreasing after this battle, so we can't treat you like we did the last time. As the highest ranking officers at Republic, Avery and Monty Lippman are highly likely to have communicated with others at UMG regarding the ongoing harm to Drake caused by the publication and promotion of the defamatory material. Lucian Grainge is highly likely to have relevant documents about the recording and the 2025 Grammy Awards, and as he was recorded at the Grammys, celebrating Kendrick Lamar's wins and high-fiving Lamar's producer and mentor as the recording played in the background. Like I said yesterday, Lucian Grange said you was basically his son at one point. Praised you to the fucking moon and back. Said you have an unlimited budget. Drake gets whatever he wants. However, you're not the only horse in the stable. Right? Kendrick Lamar is a big dog on his own. Therefore, why shouldn't Lucian Grange be proud of him too? Why can't Lucian Grange support him too? Y'all are all under the same umbrella. Says you separately took the position that the documents of at least some of the contested custodians would be duplicative of other custodians and are therefore unnecessary to collect, review, and produce. And we talked about that yesterday. Basically, UMG is telling Drake, you don't need to go through everybody's emails because all of the correspondence is the same. So if you've gone through X amount of people's emails regarding Kendrick and these songs or these relevant search terms, you're going to see the correspondence with the other person anyway. So what is it that you're really looking for? He says, no, we need access to everybody. Okay? I'm going to try to keep going as quickly as possible without missing key details if I can. So this is getting into the search terms. For the record, your suggestion that filtering future document collections at the point of collection by running initial screening search terms before later running a second set of search terms will somehow make discovery more efficient is not credible. UMG's proposal would introduce a new step into the collection and review process. Under UMG's proposal, instead of sending date range limited custodial data to a document vendor and having the vendor run search terms, UMG itself, not a vendor, would first run a set of not yet negotiated filter search terms at the point of collection, an inherently unreliable exercise, especially for devices, and then send that data to a document vendor and then have the vendor run a second set of search terms. So UMG, I ain't gonna lie, UMG sound like they trying to run their checks first, and then they gonna send it to you. Like let me look through it first, then we send it over to you. I ain't gonna lie, that's what it says. That's pretty much what they saying. I don't fuck with homie, but if I'm reading this correctly, that's what it sound like. Okay. Anyway, this gets into the same shit that they've been addressing. We're gonna kind of skip past some of this shit. Now, UMG's responses and objections, to plaintiff's first set of requests for production. We reiterate our request that UMG provide a date certain at which it will begin producing documents. On our meet and confer of May 13, you indicated that UMG will begin producing certain hand-collected documents shortly. Request number 3. As discussed on our meet and confer on May 13th, you asked that we provide an explanation for why the search term GNX was relevant. I would love to know why GNX is relevant because there's no direct shots on that album at Drake, talking about Drake or really concerned with that nigga. There's a lot of interpretive stuff that people take and we make it seem like it's aimed at him, but he didn't mention his name. He didn't mention Canada. You know, it's like, nigga, you're rapping. We explained that the recording was not included on Kendrick Lamar's album GNX, and plaintiff was seeking discovery to understand whether UMG was involved in that decision and why the decision was made. You agreed to go back to your client with this explanation. In the May 22nd letter, you simply state that UMG will not run the term GNX for request number 3. Please provide an explanation of why UMG is objecting to the search term GNX. Because what it sounds like is they want to know, they want documentation to show how soon UMG was privy to the GNX album. And if everything that took place last year was all strategically planned out, from the disc records to the album, etc. That's what it sounds like to me. Request number 4. You represent that UMG searched the central repository of any discretionary marketing funds paid or reimbursed to for the benefit of any artist or client of UMG for responsive documents and did not identify anything. Okay? Please provide a detailed explanation of how this repository is organized, i.e., how payments and reimbursements are labeled, how artists or clients are identified, and whether the repository contains song level data as opposed to artist level. For example, is it possible that discretionary marketing funds were used in support of or connection with Kendrick Lamar, but the repository would not show whether those funds specifically supported the recording, image, or video, as in Not Like Us? Please also explain how UMG searched this central repository, including any terms or limiters used. So we need to know not just how much money you spent on Kendrick, we need to know the exact amount that was spent for Not Like Us song, image, and video. I don't think they paid much for that fucking image. Anyway, you represent, I don't think UMG paid shit for that image because Kendrick did the shit within his team. You represent that allegations, complaints, or reports of payola are received by UMG's Global Compliance Group, and that UMG has confirmed that Global Compliance has not received anything, allegations, complaints, or reports of payola regarding the recording. Okay, so UMG tried to let them know that the Global Compliance Group over there has received no complaints, allegations, or anything regarding payola of Not Like Us. Drake and his team are saying, please provide an explanation of how Global Compliance conducted its search, including any terms or limiters used. Please also provide confirmation that any responsive allegation, complaint, or report, whether formal or informal, oral or written, made to anyone at UMG will be directed to UMG's Global Compliance Group as a matter of policy and produce said policy or policies. Please also provide hit counts for our proposed search terms directed at this request so that we can understand your burden claim and, if necessary, work with you to tailor the search terms or custodians to reduce any undue burden. So they're looking further into botting and payola with this. And they say the answer you've given us is not sufficient. We need to know how y'all came to that conclusion. 7, you represent that UMG searched and found no published policies or procedures responding to this RFP. Please clarify what is meant by published, and please provide an explanation of how UMG searched this central repository, including any terms or limiters used. Request 8. Plaintiff reserves all rights as to request number 8 as we await your production with documents sufficient to verify your representations. Okay? And they would like a timely response on that. Exhibit 5. This is email between Drake and UMG, or the lawyers. And this is basically pertaining to, once again, these apex folks, the top dogs. Exhibit 6. Plaintiff's second set of requests for production to defendant UMG. Plaintiff incorporates by reference all instructions, definitions, and rules contained, blah, 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 unless words or terms have been given a specific definition herein. Each word or term used herein shall be given its usual and customary dictionary definition. All right, let's get past some of this shit. So what is it that y'all actually want, man? God damn. All right, where the fuck is the request at? God, all right, shit. Request number 19. So they want all documents and communications from January 1st, 2009 through the present relating to the allegations. I'm guessing the allegations you mean are what? PDF? Document request number 20. All materials provided to the board of directors of UMG or UMG Group that discuss or mention in any way the recording, video, image, allegations, the pre-action discovery petitions, or the complaint, The request includes, but is not limited to, meeting minutes, board books, or similar compilations, presentations, reports, or any other materials or documents provided the board of directors of UMG. So they want to see everything that UMG's been talking about concerning Not Like Us, the allegations of the PDF activity, or anything regarding his petition that he filed. Remember, he filed in Texas and New York, and he wants to see everything that they had to say about him regarding these things. Number 21, all documents and communications relating to any social media posts about plaintiff, as in Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Duckworth, the allegations, the pre-action discovery petitions, the complaint, or any allegations contained in the complaint, the recording, the video, the image, the 2025 Grammys and or Super Bowl halftime show. He wants to see everything that they've talked about concerning social media posts within this time period of the last year. Number 22, documents sufficient to show all social media accounts you control that posted or shared content relating to plaintiff, Kendrick Lamar, etc. Okay? Now remember, UMG and all of them, Republic, Interscope, they all got multiple accounts. So they want to see everything that's been posted, because I know Drake posted his own screenshots of what he and his team found. 23, all documents and communications relating to any analyses you conducted or commission of social media engagement or discussion related to plaintiff, blah, blah, blah. 24, all documents and communications relating to the deletion or removal of your social media posts and or comments about plaintiff, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So if y'all have been deleting anything, we need to see all communications regarding that as well. What prompted you to delete them? What were the conversations? All documents and communication relating to the deletion, blah, blah, blah. All documents and communications relating to, y'all already got into this, from Greg Morella. They had screenshots of Greg Morella, but not limited to the deletion of all posts on his Instagram profile on or around March 25th. Damn, Greg, so you cleared your whole IG. Fuck. Document number 27. Documents sufficient to show your internal policies and procedures relating to removing, reporting, taking down, or limiting comments on your social media and YouTube accounts. Drake, you gonna produce documentation as to why you limit comments on your IG? Let's do that too. 28, all documents and communications related to any removals, reports, or limits on users' comments on your social media, YouTube accounts that relate to everything. Number 29, all documents and communications from January 1st, 2020 through the present relating to any instruction, direction, or 2020? Or suggestion that any musical work or music video over which you have contractual rights or control of any kind be censored or otherwise modified, altered based on the content of the musical work or music video, or decision to not license, publish, or promote any musical work or music video over which you have contractual rights. So here, they're asking for all communications for the last 5 years in which they've been able to control whether or not a song or music video gets released or gets changed, right? Because they did not enforce any of that on Kendrick. So he wants to see, well, if you didn't do it for him, I want to see all the people that you did do it for. Here's where things get sticky. For the time period of January 1st, 2018 to May 31st, 2018, all documents and communications relating to any instruction, direction, or suggestion that any musical work or music video by Pusha T, including but not limited to the story of Adidon, be censored or otherwise modified, altered based on the content of the musical work or music video, or decision to not license, publish, or promote any musical work or music video by Pusha T, including but not limited to the story of Adidon, on the basis of the content of the musical work or music video. Now, the thing about the story of Adidon, which we know was another song dismantling Drake, revealing that he was hiding a child, let that boy come home. Uh, it's been spoken of a lot that Drake put pressure on the heads at UMG to suppress this record, get it removed. And one of the reasons why it was very easy for the song to be removed in the first place is because it wasn't an original song. It was basically a freestyle over Jay-Z's story of OJ. So at that point, you can't really do much. You can't really do anything commercial with the song anyway, right? You can't get it played on your traditional radio, although you may get mixed DJs that'll play it. They had it on World Star. They had it on different places. And UMG subsequently started issuing takedowns. I think it was uploaded to streaming platforms. I don't believe that Pusha T and his team actually published it on streaming platforms because they never got it cleared by Jay-Z anyway. So that was just a traditional takedown because somebody decided to put it up themselves anyway. But Drake is very much aware that UMG put the squeeze on Pusha T because it was at his request. So, like everybody's been saying all this time, he thought he could duplicate that process all over again, and he fucked around and found out. Document request number 31. Document sufficient to show Interscope's monthly revenue and profits from January 1st, 2020 through the present. So he wants to see 5 years of monthly revenue and profit, which I'm guessing, once again, he wants to compare what the financials looked like leading up to 2024, and then he wants to see what the financials are looking like after Not Like Us blew up, to show, to basically, for what he thinks will show cause of supporting Kendrick and coming up with this plan. Number 32, documents sufficient to show your and Interscope's monthly revenues and profits derived in any way from the recording and video. I'm guessing your would be UMG. Next up, documents sufficient to show the value of Kendrick Lamar Duckworth's recording catalog from January 1st, 2020 to present, including but not limited to any valuations thereof, formal or informal, that you conducted, commissioned, or considered. All right? So at this point, he's now trying to see just how much value Not Like Us has added to Kendrick's catalog, right? So let's look from the last 5 years and let's look at the spike, because remember, Kendrick had some albums last year, some of his older albums re-entered the charts. Some of them were already there, but some of them re-entered the charts. Some of his songs re-entered the charts after Not Like Us blew up, Super Bowl, the whole nine. So he's going to try to use that to his advantage, he as in Drake, to show that he saw an increase in visibility, plays, support by defaming me. That's how Drake is gonna push this. Kendrick Lamar has already been wildly successful for the last decade and a half, but again, he's gonna try to show, look at how his career has gotten a so-called second win after producing this defamatory content against me. Bitch ass shit. Document request number 34. All documents and communications internal to UMG relating to the renegotiation or anticipated renegotiation of Drake's current contract with UMG and or negotiation of a new contract, including but not limited to documents and communications discussing UMG's leverage over Drake, the value of Drake's recording catalog, the cost of extending Drake's current contract, the cost of entering into a new contract with Drake, and documents and communications with Jim Rappo for the time period of August 1st, 2023 to the present. Now, this piece right here, if for some reason Drake felt like the renegotiation process was unjust, I still don't understand, because if they lowballing you, you're supposed to be the biggest so-called rap artist in the world. You should just be able to go elsewhere and get a bag. I could have swore homeboy at Santa Ana and Sony are fucking foaming at the mouth to get you over there. So why not just go over there and get you a fucking deal and leave UMG? Put your weak ass album out, fulfill your contract, and go get your fucking bag. But if you feel like it was unjust in some way, illegal in some way, why is the basis of your lawsuit not solely or at least majority based on Section 34 right here? I could probably give you some leeway. If your real issue was this here, 34, the communication surrounding your renegotiation, because they gave you your big payday in what, 2021, 22? And they're alleging that Drake superseded somehow, some way, which I don't even understand how you hit those benchmarks without botting, which is why he probably is so paranoid about botting. But he claims that he reached all those benchmarks within like a year and a half and was up for renegotiation. And he wants to see all of the communications that have taken place with the upper crust of UMG regarding his renegotiation, the leverage they have over him, the value of his recording catalog, cost of extending his current contracts, or the cost of entering into a new contract since August of 2023. What have y'all been saying about me? What have the communications looked like when y'all knew I was going to eventually have to come back to y'all and get some more money? What were the plans regarding me? This is the only halfway decent complaint he has, and that's still a bitch ass complaint, because again, if you got another label just waiting on you, go do business with them. Fulfill your shit and go with them. Why would you want to stay with a company that you suspect of trying to undervalue you? But this is a nigga that is so used to trying to get his way, he don't know no other way. Number 35, all documents and communications relating to the negotiation of Kendrick Lamar's current contract with UMG, including but not limited to documents and communications by, from, to, or including Steve Berman for the time period January 2023 to May 4th, 2024. So they also would like to see how UMG treated Kendrick's renegotiation, right? What's the verbiage that y'all use regarding him versus the verbiage that y'all use regarding me? Because he feels like Kendrick got preferential treatment versus him being deliberately devalued. That's what he believes. Number 36, all documents and communication relating to the, we already know that. Y'all been asking for that throughout the whole fucking thing. 37, all documents and communications you receive from any third parties or non-parties in connection with or relating to the pre-action discovery petitions or this litigation, whether by subpoena or otherwise. What y'all been saying regarding all this stuff I've been doing? All documents and communications with Spotify, Twitch, Amazon, Apple, Eamon Anthony Soleil, David Isaac Freely, that's Dave Free, ain't it? Gary Morella, Joshua Delsini, Josh Kaplan, Kojo, Anthony Boucher, or any counsel representing them relating to the recording, image, video allegations. So you want to see all communications between the streaming companies, Twitch, Anthony, which is of course Kendrick's manager, Dave Free, Kendrick's child, best friend / business partner, label niggas, Kojo, supposedly the promo guy, etc. What y'all been talking about? All documents, man. Just imagine if every diss record was subject to this type of fucking investigation by a nigga that lost. All documents and communications with complex networks relating to the recording, image, video allegations and the pre-action discovery petitions. Because if you've been keeping up with this, Drake don't really like how Complex been talking about him ever since. He's got his own set of clippings in his petition. I'm not petition, but in his complaint with complex headlines and stories that really weren't all that disparaging towards him, but it talked about how Kendrick won, stuff like that. Document request 40, all documents and communications with Vivo relating to the recording, image, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and of course, Vivo, you typically release music videos through Vivo, Not Like Us was released on Vivo as well. So any communications y'all have had with them, because they published the music video, what y'all been talking about with them since all this took place? All documents and communications with Penske Media Corporation relating to the recording, image, video allegations, the pre-action discovery petitions or litigations. Penske Media owns a bunch of the top publications and stuff like that. All documents and communications with iHeartMedia. We know Drake's been looking into iHeartMedia the whole time. He had that petition out there in Texas, which was unsuccessful. He dropped it himself. So, come on. All documents and communications with UMPG, which is the publishing division of UMG, concerning Not Like Us, allegations, pre-action discovery, petitions, litigation. All documents and communications with YouTube, whether directly or indirectly regarding all of these things. They want all documentation and communication with Meta, which of course Meta is over Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, I think is owned by them now. So them niggas too. All right. And of course, the diss records were coming out on Instagram first. All documents and communications with the NFR podcast. Here we get into social media influencers and such. And or its hosts Luca Guarini and Anthony D'Alessio. Its employees and its agents, whether directly or indirectly relating to the recording, image, video allegations, the pre-action discovery, petitions, or litigation. Now remember, NFR Podcast, their Twitter page was just knocked down a couple weeks ago when his latest blunder of a song, Which One, came out. They posted it, and the next day their account was gone. And you know, NFR Podcast, they've been uncomfortably neutral. You know what I'm saying? Them fucking eyeballs and shit, sometimes they be looking like they really be promoting this nigga. But Drake don't like them, therefore, they're in his paperwork. Probably don't like them because they post both artists. Document request 47. Documents and communications sufficient to show all licenses, including but not limited to commercial and synchronization licenses granted for the recording, image, video, and or the musical composition contained in the recording and video to whom the licenses were granted and the value of the licenses granted. This request includes but is not limited to licenses granted to or in connection with Meta, TikTok, the July 11th, 2024 ESPY Awards, the July 19th, 2024 Pop Out Concert in Inglewood, and streaming thereof, the July 20th, 2024 Kamala Harris Presidential Rally in Atlanta, where they played Not Like Us, and the August 2024 DNC in Chicago, also playing Not Like Us. So he wants to know how much money y'all made off of licensing this record. Okay? Pocket watching, you must be the police, a wise man once said. Damn. Damn. Document request number 48. All documents and communications relating to The Heart Part 6 by Drake. Sir, nobody gave a fuck about that song. Nobody gave a fuck about that song. I'm going to say it one more time before we move forward. Nobody gave a fuck about that song. All your angles in that song were misguided and incorrect. Document request 49. This is where things get a little extra sticky. You know how sticky it gets? For January 1st, 2009 through the present, all documents and communications relating to Drake's criminal history or lack thereof, including any background investigations, due diligence, inquiries, checks, or reports related to criminal records. So he goes all the way to 2009. Okay, remember that's the year that Drake literally became a thing. That's when he blew up. So he's saying throughout the last, 15 plus years, 16 years, whatever you want to say, he's been squeaky clean. I think this part of his document request is going to bite him in the ass. Because Drake, he ain't just been making headlines for dropping songs and being Zoolander. He's had some spotty issues that have come out regarding his name. So that's going to be very interesting. Document request number 50. From January 1st, 2014 to the present, all documents and communications relating to allegations of DV, violence against women, and or other forms of violence committed by Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, okay? So he has no knowledge, or maybe he believes he has some knowledge of Kendrick Lamar conducting violence against women. And he wants all of the documents, if any exist, to be presented of any record of domestic violence on Kendrick, or from Kendrick, I should say. None that I know of, none that we know of. That whole thing in Vegas was a hoax. But there's some people out there that really do believe it. You got What's the Dirt out there. I think he just came out and said he conducted an interview with the girl surrounding it. As if that's gonna fucking matter. Anyway, we'll continue. Document request number 51. From January 1st, 2019 to the present, all documents and communications relating to David Isaac Freely, aka Dave Free, and his relationship with Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and Kendrick Lamar Duckworth's children. So this is one of those things that went super viral overnight, because he wants to go into the last 6 years, I guess, since his children were, conceived. He wants to see what's up with Dave Free and Kendrick, all documents and communications relating to their relationship, which is going to be texts, emails, phone records, and also looking into the relationship of Dave Free and Kendrick's kids, again, because he alleged that Dave Free is actually the father of one of Kendrick's children, which is fucking crazy. But I guess he wants to be proven, because remember, the end of The Heart Part 6 He says, let's get to the facts, man. Come on, let's get to the facts. So he believes within his heart of hearts somehow that he is privy to information that will confirm that what he said about Kendrick Lamar being a domestic abuser and not being the paternal father of his kids, or the biological father of his kids, I'll say. He believes that what he's saying was all facts, and he wants them to present, or to have to present, information to either confirm or prove him incorrect. Document request number 52. All documents and communications relating to the rap feud from August 1st, 2023 to the present. Now, I think this is a very interesting piece, and I think it's getting overlooked a little bit. But to use the word rap feud from August 1st to the present, what was going on in August of 2023 behind the scenes for them to pinpoint that specific date? What date was For All the Dogs released? So For All the Dogs came out on October 6th, 2023. Just a couple months after this date that they're proposing. And remember, there was some sort of communication regarding First Person Shooter, getting Kendrick on that song. So now we may not find out, because a lot of stuff is going to be submitted into protective order. But that's going to be very interesting, is to see what that conversation actually entailed, how that conversation actually came about, and why this document is in here requesting all communications relating to the rap feud from August 1st, 2023 to now. Because, of course, Kendrick declined to be on the song. But what was said, right? Which is also going to lead to the release of Like That, right? Because everybody says that that's a direct response to First Person Shooter. But what were the communications leading up to the release of the Like That verse? Drake seems to think that he knows something behind the scenes, some form of communication leading up to all of this that will validate his lawsuit, because he's asking for it in his request. Document request 53. All documents and communications relating to the vandalism that occurred at Drake's OVO clothing store in London, UK on May 7th as alleged of the complaint. Come on, man. Those were random people that vandalized your store. I know it sucks. But they ain't nobody involved got shit to do with that. It's not even neutral ground. Document request number 54. All documents and communications with independent promoters relating to the recording or video. Independent promoters. Okay? And of course, they're going to want to know if any independent promoter worked the record. They're going to want to know where the song was sent, the money that was paid, etc. All documents and communications relating to independent promoters hired, engaged, or retained by you to promote the recording or video, not limited by date range. The settlement agreement between you and the New York Attorney General referenced in paragraphs of the complaint, including but not limited to the settlement agreement and any schedules, exhibits, amendments, or modifications thereto. District Attorney General? What settlement? Are they talking about that old payola case from like the early 2000s? not limited by date range, all documents and communications relating to violations or suspected violations of your agreement to the New York Attorney General by you or any independent promoter. All versions of the independent radio promotion agreement since 2020 as referenced in your radio and television promotion policies and procedures. So I'm guessing he wants to see this for any violations. From January 1st, 2023 to the present, all executed independent radio promotion agreements relating to the recording or Kendrick Lamar and Duckworth. The only thing that I personally don't understand is independent radio promotion is not illegal. It's very much legal. Paying for radio promotion is not an uncommon practice. It's the most common practice. So what I don't like is that he's attempting to vilify radio promotion when every artist signed to a major label that is receiving any sort of support, unless they're doing it all themselves and the label's just signing off on it, everybody is benefiting from radio promotion. But he's making it seem like this is some dirty, nasty thing that they're doing. Anyway, from January 1st, 2006 to the present, all documents and communications relating to violations or suspected violations of your radio and television promotion policies and procedures. He's going back to 2006, so clearly he knows that some violations exist at least within the time frame of the last 20 years. Who gives a fuck, man? Anyway, document request number 61. Document sufficient to show all expenditures made by you in connection with the playing or promotion of the recording on the radio, including such documents available in the database or databases referenced in your radio and television promotion policies and procedures. Again, what the fuck, man? Radio's not illegal. As far as TV is concerned, what TV shows are playing fucking music videos? Number 62. From August 1st, 2023 through the present, all documents and communications relating to whitelisting on third-party platforms, including but not limited to YouTube and Twitch, for any musical works or music videos, including but not limited to First-Person Shooter, Like That, Push-Ups, Euphoria, Family Matters, and Meet the Grrrls. Okay? So what I find interesting here is first-person shooters inclusion. Because remember, when I saw August 1st, 2023, that's the song that came to mind. In a further request, he's now added first-person shooter to the saga of the diss records. And he wants to see all communications related to whitelisting for YouTube, Twitch, and other platforms, which means whitelisting was not introduced for Not Like Us, which isn't even being named in this request. Or is he trying to say that none of these other songs received whitelisting privileges, just Not Like Us, which would also be a lie? Not to mention, people like No Life Shaq has been saying that labels have been communicating with him, allowing him to whitelist his shit. And he's gone out of his way to help other reactors obtain whitelisting on their shit. I specifically remember a video of No Life Shaq saying that, and I don't even watch him that much. So I think this is going to be another bite in the ass. Anyway, we'll continue. All documents and communications relating to any analyses, measurements, experiments, or the like you undertook or received, which assess the impact of whitelisting the recording on YouTube and Twitch, including but not limited to any reports, data, or reviews of the number of videos that used the recording during the time period during which it was whitelisted, public engagement with such videos, and sentiment analysis. Okay? So they want to do a very in-depth investigation as it pertains to whitelisting on those recordings mentioned. Documents and communications from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st, 2025, sufficient to show the standard licensing rates between you and Spotify. So remember, in Drake's lawsuit, he claims that Spotify gave them a different licensing rate to incentivize that Not Like Us would be promoted extra, and then Spotify would receive a lower rate, which means Spotify would receive less money off promoting Not Like Us, which makes no sense. Unless you're saying Spotify would receive a bigger chunk of the cut to promote Not Like Us, which then again makes no sense, because why would UMG accept less money when they're in the business of making money off artists? Either way, it doesn't work. Documents and communications sufficient to show the licensing rates with Spotify for the recording. All documents and communications relating to the receipt of royalties for the recording from Spotify, including but not limited to any documents reflecting the monthly stream share of the recording. Pocket watching, you must be the police. Document number 67. All documents and communications relating to the use of bots, artificial streaming, or similar methods in connection with the recording, image, or video on any platform, including but not limited to Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. I want to take a second to just stop here, because since this whole thing has been a thing for the past few months, I always get somebody who says, yo, I thought Drake removed the talk of bots, artificial streaming, etc. No. Other people have said that he did. I told y'all he has not. He had no intentions of taking that out. UMG wanted him to take that out. All he did was rephrase it. He removed the quote of DJ that don't spin and replaced it with a quote from Joe Budden. Which is why we're still talking about payola, bots, streaming, and sweetheart deals with Spotify, because Drake is not letting it go. He believes the only reason Kendrick Lamar got the better of him is because they botted the song to be as massive as it is. If he drops any allegations of bots, all of this shit pretty much ceases, or a good percentage of his complaint is diminished. So please understand, and it's written right in front of your face, bots, artificial streaming, or similar methods, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. He did not remove anything about bots. He just rephrased the way it was written. Document request number 68. All documents reflecting the performance, engagement, or streaming metrics and individual post analytics of all publications of the recording or video by accounts under your control on YouTube, including such metrics and analytics available on account and or channel dashboards. So he wants direct access to YouTube statistics. Document request number, man. Under normal circumstances, these are things he could never ask for. I think he knows he's going to lose this, but he wants to walk away with as much information as he possibly can, because he's going to leave UMG. And he's going to walk away with a lot of in-depth insight about their operations. And he's going to take it to another label. That's what I believe a lot of this is about. Playlisting, which is not illegal. Document 70. All documents reflecting the performance, engagement, or streaming metrics. Look at this shit, man. Included but not limited to number of streams, unique monthly listens, unique monthly listeners. Documents sufficient to show by the hour This nigga wants to know the hourly streams Not Like Us has been getting. Come on, man. He wants to know the duration of playtime, how long people are listening to the song, the whole nine. Give me a fucking break. From May 4th, from the date it was published up to now. Documents sufficient to show by the hour demographics of listeners, including such listeners' ages, genders, countries, and cities, and the source of listeners on all of these streaming platforms. Why is this relevant? Demographic studies? He's trying to conduct market research under the guise of a lawsuit. All documents and communications reviewed, consulted, retrieved, or otherwise relied on by you in answering, responding to, or objecting to these requests and any previous or subsequent document requests, interrogatories, or requests for admission served by Drake in this litigation. This nigga's doing market research in the form of a lawsuit, bro. And somebody may say, well, what market research is he conducting? He wants to know what the culture's feeling. Who are all these people listening to this shit? Why are they listening to it? How long are they listening to it? Why are they choosing it? And who do I need to hire to get me some of that flavor? Because, again, if you listen to Drake's music for the last year, you could go back about 3-4 years, honestly. But if you specifically hone in on the past 12 to 18 months of Drake music, the shit has been bullshit, basura, dirt, trash, all the way around. And he needs, like, shit, man, how can I get a taste of what his fans are fucking with? Document request number 75. All documents and communications with Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, his agents, or anyone working on his behalf relating to the meaning or intent of the recording, image, or video, or any portions thereof, including but not limited to the following. Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You bet not ever go to cell block 1. Just make sure you hide your little sister from him. Certified lover boy, certified PDFs. Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. Shape the stories how you want. Hey Drake, they're not slow. Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise. And your homeboy needs subpoena. That predator moving flocks. That name got to be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. The image of Kendrick Lamar Duckworth playing hopscotch. The image of a caged owl. Come on, dog. And the image of shipping containers. So he wants to go through all the communications to see what UMG had to say to Kendrick or his agents about those lyrics and images on Not Like Us. To see if it was ever addressed in any way. Like, hey, you don't want to try to change that bar? You don't want to do nothing to that bar? He's like, y'all ain't reach out to that nigga ever about any of this? I need to know. Exhibit 7. There's still so much more to go here. I'm fucking embarrassed. Here we've got email correspondence between the lawyers June 6th of this year. And here they're conversing about using the search term GNX. Okay? They want to run GNX with 25 Not Like Us or NLU. Exhibit 8. Once again, Lucian Grange's name comes back up about his involvement or alleged involvement, I should say. Kendrick's contract. John Janik's contract. All this shit going on. Plaintiff's third set of requests for production. Because apparently the stuff he's asking for hasn't been showing up. So Drake is like, man, what the fuck y'all doing? All right, we just going through this stuff. Again, trying to be expedient here. Document request number 76. All documents and communications relating to the use of Spotify by UMG employees to stream the recording on their personal Spotify accounts. He wants to know how much UMG employees have been listening to Not Like Us. How many of you motherfuckers up there that really be smiling in my face been playing this shit in your private time? Boy, he's a whole bitch. This request includes, but is not limited to, all documents and communications relating to an all-hands meeting involving UMG's marketing team, during which participants were instructed, directed, requested, told, or otherwise to use their personal Spotify accounts to stream the recording on repeat, and that they would be reimbursed for any fees associated with the same. But shut your dumb ass up. So you mean to tell me that UMG's marketing team is sitting around streaming Not Like Us on repeat like your fans on Twitter? And what fees would they be incurring for playing this like they don't already have a Spotify account? Hey, if you don't have a Spotify account, we'll pay for your family plan. Just keep streaming Not Like Us, please. The song needs every little bit counts, okay? Come on, boy. Shut your stupid ass up. All documents and communications relating to the placement of the recording and or music by Kendrick Lamar on the playlist for UMG's workplaces. He want to know how much they've been playing this shit in the office, including but not limited to its Santa Monica, California location. This request includes but is not limited to all documents and communications regarding the creation, construction, or maintenance of playlists and any directions, instructions, mandates, complaints, concerns, or questions regarding the music played at UMG's workplace locations. Yeah, I can imagine. This is the only song they've been playing in the office for the last year. Oh, boy. I can only imagine what them fucking Christmas parties sounded like. Whole 4 hours. Come on, man. All documents and communications related to any payments by Ramon Alvarez Smeagol, whether directly or indirectly, to the NFR podcast. This is the second time they've mentioned NFR podcast in here. Hey, man, I know they took y'all Twitter down, but they ain't take your podcast. They ain't take your Instagram. Please, let us know what the fuck is going on. Indirectly or directly to the NFR podcast to promote anti-Drake messages. I have not seen NFR podcast post anti-Drake messages. That's just me. Maybe you have. And to populate positive comments regarding Kendrick Lamar in the NFR podcast comment section on any social media. Let's not talk about Twitter bots. I've personally, on my shit, I'm nowhere near as popular as NFR podcast on any platform. But I have, last night, I didn't say this nigga name. I said that boy, he lost the battle. his motherfucking marbles and all credibility in a year's time. Shameful. I didn't say this nigga name. The tweet has let's see, 110,000 views overnight. Didn't mention his name. Got a bunch of OVO bots. Didn't even say the nigga name. So let's not talk about populating comments. Anyway, on any social media, this request includes but is not limited to any investigation, reports, complaints, analyses, or similar into the same. Document request number 79. All documents and communications relating, damn, they saved you for last, didn't it? To the person or persons using the X handle ScrewfaceJohn and email screwfacejohn@gmail.com. And this was dated in July. So they had this thing brewing for a couple months. Well, 1 month to be exact, but you've been on their radar for a minute. And they ain't even looking into your YouTube. They looking into your Twitter. I find that to be very interesting. They looking into Screwface Twitter to see if anyone has communicated directly to him, whether by DM or by email. And this was a month ago that they submitted this. Wow. So you're singling out Twitter accounts. The same man who was pushing all his friends with platforms, Yachty, Maul, all these niggas to come out here and say he's unbothered. He's not thinking about the battle. He's not worried about that. He's in the studio cooking up an album. He's about to, he's not even thinking about none of this. Well, we just read through, what was the total on this alone? 76 pages that say otherwise. Not to mention, I think his lawsuit is damn near like 100 and something pages, if not more. And he's communicating directly with his legal team. So literally all this nigga's been thinking about since the latter part of last year is this shit. He was thinking about it when he was getting his ass whooped on wax. Then he's dedicated the last fucking 12 months dedicated to trying to find a win legally. While these niggas was on podcasts talking about he's not thinking about none of this. He's not worried about none of this. He ain't thinking about Kendrick. He finally comes out with some official music that he's not leaking on a random website or putting on fucking Instagram. Puts his stamp on it. No, Kia, is it Stacy? Is it Keisha? And he does a whole fake ass Kendrick Lamar video. Come on, man. Come on, man. If he was truly not thinking about none of this, come on, man. Damn sure wouldn't be mocking and trolling and wearing "I know what you did last summer" shirts on stage. I know what they did last summer. I know what they did last summer. Are you fucking kidding me? This nigga got a whole Scott Hall vest on talking about something. I know what they did last summer. Boy, got me pissed the fuck off. I know what they did last summer. Whooped your ass. It wasn't your last summer. You've been taking an ass whooping every day ever since. You can't sleep at night. You done got your motherfucking abs redone. You done goddamn lost hair and gained it back. Not to mention, y'all remember that 2 weeks where he was going on his Finsta and he was posting people's faces. He was posting the fake Serena shit and the fake image of Lucian Grange's daughter. What happened with all of that? What happened with all that? We know what you did last summer too, nigga. We know what you did last fall, nigga, with that weak ass freestyle trying to ruin LeBron family. And he's out here shameless. Fucking shameless. Doing this behind the scenes, then going out on stage trying to give people fucking encouragement. And they said I couldn't do it because I was light-skinned, people. They said I couldn't do it because I was a kid from Canada. I wanted to rap. Well, you don't get the fuck out of here. And some of you motherfuckers is still gonna be rocking with this nigga. Shameful. I don't want to spend my whole fucking day talking about this shit though. So let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. At this point, I don't want to see no comments talking about, nigga, you hate Drake. Oh, this a Drake hate channel. That shit is dead, brother. Shit been dead for real, but that shit is officially dead. After the filing of this, after this has come out, all that is over with. If you're not willing to hold this man accountable for this type of shit, requesting a man's paternity so that you could try to somehow awkwardly validate what you said in a diss record, come on, man. You lost. You lied and you lost. But yes, I am going to continue to make my motherfucking coin talking about this lame ass nigga. Yes, I am. So if you want to call me a Drake hate channel, be my guest. I don't hate nobody. I'm a loving Samaritan. Only thing I hate is mosquitoes. All right? So don't act like one. I'm going to catch y'all a little bit later. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.